Hey guys, Jacob Jones here, and as you can probably tell, it has been a while since my last video. Like, a couple years at least. Apologies for that. I'm not going to go into details as to what I've been up to during this time. Just know I am alright. I'm doing pretty good for myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here recording for everyone. But that is neither here nor there. You are probably wondering, what is this on the screen? And I will explain. So, recently, I have been doing a save using the April 2026 Real World mod that was created by Questlove and their team over on the Grey Dog Games forum. You can download that there if you have TEW9. And what I have been doing is I have been running a save of WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. And I've been posting about my exploits in a friend's server, and it has been a lot of fun. I've been having an absolute blast doing the save. It's the first time I've really gotten to do things with TEW in a very long time, essentially. It's been a very long time since I've really been able to sink my teeth to something TEW related. But I came to realize that I was having such a good time with this, I was going a little too fast for my own good. And knowing me, when I stick my teeth into something, when I am passionate, I will do something, and I will do a lot of it for a while. But I didn't want that to cloud the viewing enjoyment of those in the server. So, what I am going to do is that from here on in, I am going to be making this a video diary. Yes, I am going to be making this a video diary showcasing my exploits with this WWE save. I'm going to show you Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, main event. We might also pop in, check and see what NXT and Evolve are up to on their respective days. And at the end of the cycle, there will be a prediction contest for the pay-per-view. As you can see, our next event will be Clash in Italy, which will be in 20 days. So if my math is correct, we should have 3 Raws and 3 SmackDowns before the big day. And then we'll have that prediction contest where you'll all have 24 hours to predict what you think might happen with the card. And whoever gets the most points at the end of the game will have an opportunity to play a role in this save. Yep. It could be getting someone new on the roster. It could be giving a wrestler that's already on the roster small little push for the month. It could be something that we don't even know about yet. It really is dependent on what happens there. All right. So, now that we got the ground rules for this out of the way, I am going to be going into detail on what I have been doing with this save. So, you have an understanding of what it is that's been going on. So, the first thing we're going to be doing is we are going to be looking at our storylines. And as you can see here, we have a lot. I mean, we have a lot. And the first storyline we have here, we're going to go in alphabetical order. By the way, we're going to go in alphabetical order. The first story we're going to be looking at is a Bayley without a butt. So, the summary goes as follows. Once more, Bayley has been left on her own. Her tag partner, Lyra Valkyria, now on SmackDown. And in turn, it's left Bayley directionless. With the veteran vulnerable once more, it leaves a powerful young newcomer with a chance of a lifetime to pounce on the role model. I also said when she's most vulnerable, a little bit redundant on my end. I will probably edit that out once this recording is finished. But yeah, to summarize, this is me using Bayley to get the new kid on the block. And one of the new kids on the block, actually. The new kid in particular being Zarya. So Zarya was one of the people I called up after WrestleMania. I'll go into more detail on that when we get there. But basically, this is me trying to use Bailey's popularity to help get a younger star over. Uh, Not a whole lot to say here. This one feels pretty self-explanatory. Next up, A Glamorous Touch. And this one will feature Blake Monroe, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, and Tiffany Stratton. So, those are the players for this feud. So, what is going on here? Move over, Tiffany. There's a new hotness on SmackDown, and her name is Blake Monroe. Tiffany has had a rather difficult 2026, and the arrival of Blake has not made things any easier. And the longer she stays in her circle, the more Tiffany wonders, if I can't beat her, do I join her? Maybe not if some unlikely names have something to say about it. Those unlikely names are Lash Legend and Nia Jax. So, I'll go into a bit more detail once we talk about the roster in full, but I'm sort of alternating their character a little bit. Sort of making a little tweak to it. So they lean a little more towards the tweener side for now. Still doing like the bougie monster type that you see on SmackDown, but now focusing more on taking out the heels. Which makes sense because, let's be real, only a fool would want to mess with two women as big and powerful as Lash Legend and Nia Jax. Blake Monroe, another one of the newcomers here, definitely playing the. She's basically right now. She is very fake, very phony. Lash and Nia, they see through the so-called nice girl shtick she's trying to do, being like the newcomer. But Tiffany thinks she's cool. She seems all right. But Blake, as we'll find out, she doesn't think Tiffany's on her level. So it's just a matter of, what do you do here? Do you try and beat some sense into her, or do you eventually join forces with her? And we'll find out what happens with that when we get there. And then, of course, you have a tale of senpais and kohais. I'm not going to go into much detail with this one. This is basically the Asuka, Io, formerly Kairi Sane in real life, still Kairi Sane in this world. It's basically that feud continued, but now I'm doing my own spin on it, essentially. Next up, we have Birthright to Restore Tag Team Wrestling. Lexis King, Charlie Dempsey, they have also been called up. Newcomers Lexis King and Charlie Dempsey are not happy campers. Why is that? Because the art of tag team wrestling, the type made famous by those before him, has been disgraced by the likes of Damian Priest and R-Truth. They plan to rebuild the tag division in their image. To do this, however, they must purge the fat that once was, including the New Day, once respected, now reviled. Or are they? Word is, they're starting to find their smile again. So, I guess I'll spoil this right now. The New Day are going face. Yeah, the New Day, they are going face. As much as I loved that initial heel turn in 2024, they unfortunately have just never been able to capitalize on that momentum. I think they were trying to angle for like a Big E all New Day triple threat at some point, but unfortunately Big E retired, and well, that just never happened. It sucks, but it is what it is. They're going to go face, and they are going to go up against Charles Dempsey and Lexis King. Now, they form Birthright in real life in NXT. And yeah, so basically the storyline here is they are not happy. They are the new kids on the block, and they see what's going on with the SmackDown Tag Division. They're not happy, and they want to change it. They want to win those tag team titles. The New Day are standing in their path, however. Because here's the thing, they are the very archetype, or at least they once were the very archetype that Dempsey and King resent. They were that goofy, loving tag team that always put smiles on people's faces. But obviously, they don't do that anymore, but they're starting to get their way back, if that makes sense. At some point, Damian Priest and R-Truth will also be getting involved in this. And once Birthright and Priest and R-Truth collide, I think that's going to signal some sort of change within the tag division. What that shift looks like, we will see. Next up, we have Bouncy Lucha Things, a little nod to Kalisto, or Samurai del Sol, as he is known now. Javon Evans is a man of many things. He is the youngest champion in WWE history, the flashiest kid in the company, and an all-around cool guy. What he's not, however, is a true international sensation, like one El Grande Americano. He knows it, and so do the fine people of Mexico. But Javon's got his own friends. Friends he didn't know he needed, but is glad he has. So the crux of this story is that El Grande Americano straight up does not believe Javon Evans is a true Intercontinental Champion. And the reason he believes this is because he comes from America. Now, there's nothing wrong with being American. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But in El Grande's eyes, being an Intercontinental Champion means you come from somewhere else in the world, be it Mexico or Brit, UK or Japan or Europe or anywhere else in the world. And so Javon Evans holding that Intercontinental title, it just doesn't seem right. Not the El Grande Americano. So they've been spreading propaganda around, and they have been trying to spread the word that, hey, Javon Evans is not a real Intercontinental Champion. El Grande Americano could be the real Intercontinental Champion. Now, Javon Evans, thankfully, has a bit of backup in the form of Penta and Ray Phoenix. Yep, that's right. I have reformed Lucha Bros. The Lucha Brothers have reformed. I will go into more detail about this when we get to the roster in full. But basically, I've done a superstar shakeup, and I have changed both rosters to make them a little more even the playing field, as it were. But yeah, that is the main feud for the Intercontinental title. Javon, El Grande Americano, and it's been a pretty good first little feud for Javon Evans, I would say. And El Grande Americano has definitely been doing a good job with the role. Descent to Darkness. At one point, Sami Zayn was one of the nicest, honest men in all of the WWE, always willing to play by the rules and call out cheating when possible. This last year has jaded him considerably, however, and the longer it's gone on, the more it has forced Sami to do things inconsistent with his morals. He won his United States title back this way, but now he faces a new problem. A Trick Willie problem. One that has won the respect of fans in spite of his smack-talking persona. Again, not really much to say here. This is me continuing the Zayn Trick Williams feud in real life. Now, though, I have a few extra wrinkles here. Because in this universe, Carmelo Hayes actually did get to be on WrestleMania. So, the story goes as follows. Sami Zayn defeated Carmelo Hayes by cheating to retain his U.S. title. That did not change. The following week, Carmelo Hayes, he had a little interview with Megan Morant. Now, Carmelo, obviously, not happy that this happened. He knew that the chances of him going to WrestleMania after that were slim, but said he was going to find a way. Because when he shoots, he don't miss. In the background, Trick Williams listened on to this. And a part of him did feel a little bad about that because while they are no longer on speaking terms, he does at least understand how important it is to be at a WrestleMania. Missing that opportunity means you wouldn't really get that chance to show your talents to a lot of people. So he told Nick Aldis to keep a secret. And that secret was there was going to be a special United States showcase match between 500 people, one of them being Carmelo Hayes. Winner became a contender for the United States Championship, and it just so happened that Carmelo Hayes won. And as the weeks followed, Trick Williams, Sami Zayn, well, it says double turn, but I'm sort of slow burning the Trick Williams turn a little bit longer because I think I want to get as much as I can out of the build-up as possible. But basically, to summarize where we are now, Sami Zayn is now a heel, and he is very jaded. His moral compass has gone completely sideways, and now he is realizing that, hey, it's okay to do bad things if it benefits you. As for Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, Carmelo is trying to understand what Trick's mindset is. Because Trick has been giving mixed messages ever since. It seems like deep down he still cares for Carmelo Hayes, but he's trying to showcase. He's trying to hide that. And this was most prevalent in their triple threat match for the United States title at Backlash. And so the ending of the match, in my head, was Sami did an Explorer to Trick, then Sami did one to Carmelo, and it looked like Sami Zayn was going to go for a hell of a kick on both of them. Trick shoved Carmelo out of the way, then hit the... Yeah, Trick shoved Carmelo into the hell of a kick, then hit the trick shot on Sami to win the match, but he was not particularly happy about that. So we'll know more about what's going on with that soon. Oh. Next up, do you believe Don Dom? Oh boy, this one, I think you can tell where this is going. You thought things would get better for Dominic now that Finn is on SmackDown, did you? Well, unfortunately for him, he must now deal with the new hotness on Raw. That being the global hero, Joe Hendry. To Dom, his songs are as obnoxious as all get out, and nothing would make him happier to see him suffer. One way or another, Joe will find a way to make Dominic believe in him. So far, he has failed. Dominic just straight up does not believe in Joe Hendry. He thinks he's obnoxious, he thinks he's annoying, he hates the little songs that he's been doing, and he just wants nothing to do with it. Now, an interesting little wrinkle here is that for the go-home show of Raw before Backlash, we had Dominic attempt to do his own version of Joe Hendry's concerts. That was not responded well by the audience. And when Joe Hendry was trying to go confront Dominic, Tony D'Angelo came out of nowhere to attack Joe Hendry. So I have Dominic and Tony. They're working together. Basic storyline premise is that Dominic, Tony, they've both been in prison before. Dominic, he sees Tony as a kindred spirit, someone he can rely on to be around and help him out with stuff. Tony, meanwhile, he has no real connection with Dominic, not in his mind at least. He's just here to do a job. And right now, the job is to shut Henry up. So basically, it's sort of like a bounty hunter and client type. Most recently, they had a match at Backlash, a tag match, where Joe Hendry had a mystery partner, that being Oba Femi. So, Joe and Oba, they won that match. There is definitely more to that story that is to come. But just know, this is probably the social media darling feud. Like, this is the one that's probably breaking TikTok. because of all the viral stuff that's going on. Next up, Going Gangsta on Gunther. And this actually features a new signing. Yeah, not one that's currently in developmental, not one that's currently on the roster in real life. This is Mike Santana officially on the roster now. So, summary goes as this. Now that he's retired 3 Legends and taking care of Seth Rollins for Paul Heyman, what's the next step on Gunther's list? Well, as it turns out, it's going after someone who he's never actually faced before. A man he has absolutely no game plan for. Former TNA World Champion and one of the newest members of Raw, Mike Santana. So basically the story is Mike Santana, he's trying to get a match with Gunther, but Gunther does not want to have that match. He does not believe that Mike Santana is even in his league. He's not even close to his stratosphere. He straight up just refuses to fight Santana. But Santana, he's trying to do everything in his power to get Gunther to fight him in a match one-on-one. So will Gunther eventually succumb and have that match with Santana, or is this just gonna be a locked door? We'll find out when we get there. Okay, I'm actually gonna save this one for last because, oh my god, a lot happened. A lot has happened with that. So next up we have Let the Psychopath Play, and this is a feud between Drew McIntyre and Oba Femi. When someone calls you the next big thing, you better live up to that billing. Oba Femi is that man. After beating Brock Lesnar and retiring him for good, there seems to be no man who could stand up to him. No one, that is, except for Drew McIntyre, a man who finds all this hype to be nothing more than a bunch of fluff. Yeah, basically to summarize, you take Drew McIntyre and Oba Femi, and you just let them brawl with each other. Instant ratings, as you can see here. An 82, 89, 77. It's all good. It's all good, and it's all a lot of fun. Not really much more to say. Next up, we have Make a Name for Yourself. And again, this is another one that doesn't really need much introduction. This is basically me trying to continue the Rhea Ripley JC Jane feud that I believe has officially started on Friday Night SmackDown a couple days ago. At least it looks like that's going to be one of the big programs they have on SmackDown going forward. Basically, Fatal Influence, they are the new kids on the block, and they do not want to wait in line. They are going after the big names right now. I will say this. I don't know how long this storyline's going to go. JC Jane is not the highest in terms of popularity, but we will see. I'm going to keep this going as long as I can, and hopefully something good will come out of it. Alright, next up. Snatched a Hell of a Soul. If Becky Lynch is the forever woman of professional wrestling, does this mean she'll be there to put over the future of the industry as it passes by? That's the question we must answer as Sol Ruka takes on the unenviable task of facing her for the Intercontinental title upon signing with Raw. No surprise here, Sol Ruka is now a part of Monday Night Raw. Becky Lynch is the person she is going to be facing, or rather has been facing ever since she got here. This is another program that's been doing pretty good at points. Basically, to summarize, Becky Lynch regained the Women's Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 42, as she did in real life. Sol Ruka answered Becky's open challenge on the Raw after Mania, and defeated Becky Lynch to win the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch was pissed. Sol Ruka put the title on the line, And then they had a rematch at Backlash where Sol Ruka won. However, there's a bit of a wrench in that here because Becky is insisting that the foot was on or close enough to the ropes that it should have counted for a rope break. So Becky is very upset about this. Will this lead to a third match between the two of them? That remains to be seen. But basically, to summarize, Sol Ruka has been the plucky young champion, Becky Lynch, the veteran, and it's definitely done wonders for Sol Ruka's popularity, as you will come to find. Alright, now this is another feud that's. This one's a bit of a slow burn here. This one is The Devil in Detroit. The Motor City Machine Guns know that they're running the clock. Their time as one of the top tag teams in the WWE is running short, and they need to make their mark sooner than later. Alex needs to beat the Usos by any means necessary, while Chris seems willing to play by the rules. But is there something that he's not letting up? Jimmy and Jay seem to think so. So, basically, Motor City Machine Guns versus the Usos. You have them feud for a little bit, and you give the Usos something to do in the tag team division. And as you can see here, there is some tension going on between Motor City Machine Guns. Alex Shelley, obviously, he knows he's running out of time. He actually is on time decline in this game. Chris Sabin, not so much though. So Alex believes that they are running out of time to really cement themselves as one of the great tag teams here in the WWE. Beating the Usos would get them there. Now the Usos, they've been trying to monitor things between Motor City Machine Guns because they know how important they are to tag team wrestling in general. So they're trying to be mediators whenever they have their disagreements, but obviously it's not going to last for too much longer. And when that happens, it's not going to be pretty. Alright, now here's one of the newest rivalries, actually. The Dragon and the Viking. When a Dragon and a Viking come together for a match, scary things can happen. When that same Dragon and Viking are two of the finest luchadors in the wrestling industry today, you could be in for something special. This one is pretty self-explanatory. El Hijo de Pequeño, I brought in from Triple A. He's feuding with Dragon Lee. They are going to have good matches together. And yeah, that pretty much summarizes that feud. Okay, this one might need a bit of context. This one's going to need to be addressed. There's going to be a lot to unpack. This is the fall and rise of Beautiful Madness. After a nudge towards fending for herself by Zelina, Kiana turns her back on Julia, committing to using her as a springboard for her own career. With this, and the Kabuki Warriors unimpressed by her exploits, Julia soon finds an unexpected friend, willing to lend a hand. Take a wild guess who that friend is. That's right, Io Sky. So, it all started pretty simple here. We had Julia and Kiana. They were preparing for stuff. They were trying to put Tiffany in the back rear view mirror because this took place after the their first match they had on SmackDown. So it looked like that was over. Julia would then come across Asuka and Kairi. I had the women's tag titles be floating from brand to brand for a little bit before officially moving them to SmackDown. Julia, obviously, all excited about seeing Kabuki Warriors, trying to rattle off her own stuff. Did not really get that going. Didn't really impress Asuka all that much, but it did lead to eventually Kairi Sane and Julia having a match for the women's U.S. title. A match that Julia wanted to go at alone. Now, obviously, that didn't happen. Kiana got worried that Julia was going to lose that match, tried to distract the referee during that match, and then Tiffany Stratton came in, and the match got thrown out by disqualification. Julia was upset about this, and while Kiana was alone, Zelina decided to play the devil's advocate, telling her essentially, hey, why are you letting her make the moves for you? Aren't you like a really successful businesswoman? You should be. Besides, we know who had that great performance in the Rumble. We know who got in the Elimination Chamber. Basically telling her, hey, start thinking about yourself. Week that followed, Julia would apologize. She was just so excited about getting the opportunity to face Kairi Sane with Asuka watching. They made amends, and they recentered around Mania. One of the things that was brought up was that Kiana now had a factor with her. Someone that would help the both of them out. They had a little tag match. Julia did her thing. Kiana James, however, came in to take out the Bones. And that eventually led to the WrestleMania match, which was meant to be Tiffany and Julia. But then Kiana came in, riding a friggin' limousine. And in that match, Kiana would break up the pin that Julia had on Tiffany Stratton. Julia cornered Kiana. Tiffany, Alabama slammed her. Kiana got her out of the way, stole the Women's U.S. title, and then the next week, tried to explain herself to Julia. Julia was pissed. And then Kiana had some help from these two guys right here, Brutus and Julius Creed, who serve as basically her hired muscle. They are her muscle. They are the big ones here. They're the guys that are trying to keep her safe. So basically, and then Io Sky came to help out, trying to make the save. And from here on in, we've just been building up to an eventual match between the two of them. Io Sky has been trying to help out Julia. She's like, hey, look, I don't like how Kiana treated you. I think I can help you out with this. But Julia, she wanted the Kabuki Warriors to help out. Something Io was not fond of. Was not fond of at all. But she tried it anyway, told them, hey, look, I need you to back me up against the Kabuki Warriors. Asuka told Kairi to wait for her. And Asuka fucking tore her to shreds. Like, I can't really go into detail. I would imagine, like, you think you're so good just because as you had that little run back in our home in Japan. You are pathetic. You are a fool to think you could even match my level. Just fucking tearing her to shreds. Just outright roasting her in front of the viewing people. Julia is upset about it. And meanwhile, we have Io Sky, who wanted to have a match with Kiana James for the Women's U.S. title, teach her a lesson. She won that match by countout, and the Kabuki Warriors have attacked her as a result, along that way. So, this has been a wild, weird, wacky road, and I'm hopeful that by the end of this, something good can come out of this for Julia. Oh, and don't worry about this Mustafa Ali guy. That's a surprise tool that can help us later. Alright, next up is the Pat McAfee project. So, the idea for this save was, I had an idea. The idea was, what if there was an alternate universe where Pat McAfee wasn't the guy that was on the phone with Randy Orton? What if it was Aleister Black? And Pat McAfee still did his own thing. So, the thing I decided was, what if he was a manager? So I had him get a managing license, and in a moment, he's going to be managing a couple goobers who have nothing to do right now. So, here's how the story goes. With Pat McAfee now a licensed manager, he's taken it upon himself to scout the very best talent in WWE. What he's ended up with is a depressed Johnny Gargano, a Lorraine trying to help her man, a Solo Sikoa that lost his bloodline and wants absolutely nothing to do with this, and a Rusev who is here mainly because McAfee says stupid shit and he thinks it's funny. Oh well, anything to get those stinking sorry ass Matts and Chads out of the industry. The sorry ass Matts being Matt Cardona and Seidel, and the Chads being, of course, Chad Gable. So it's been building. It's also kind of helping pay off another storyline involving Johnny Gargano, who apparently is still depressed. He's still planking, but now apparently he is done. I'm also getting into real life with Tommaso Ciampa leaving for AEW. He's lost his friends, he's lost his smile, and we don't know if he'll get it back. He's also been recruiting Rusev and Solo Sikoa. Even though Chad Gable had an impressive performance, he liked Solo Sikoa more. So, as you can see here, we're building a very oddball group here. We're building an odd squad of some sort. Will Pat McAfee be able to bring this ragtag group of people to victory? I don't know, but we will find out. I'm going to change your alignment right now because that is not correct. Alright, only a few more storylines. The Revolution is the name of the game. LA Knight has been around the game for many years, and it is a well-respected member of the roster. Yet, for whatever reason, he's never been able to win the big one, despite his best efforts. Now, he's hearing the voices turn to him, saying that he has to play dirty to have a chance. Aleister Black is one, newcomer Ricky Saints is the other. He's already making friends on the roster. Those friends being Grayson Waller and Ethan Page. Later down the line, The Miz and Kit Wilson should be joining up with him. So, with this one, I am playing a little bit into real life here. Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, from what I recall in NXT, they have a bit of a contentious relationship. They worked together, but they both had the same goal, and they were not willing to stand aside regarding that. With this in mind, I have Grayson Waller in the rare role of mediator between the two of them. And the two of them, Ethan Page and Grayson Waller, they've hit it off. And they've been going up against CM Punk, who finds them to be nothing more than disrespectful little punks. Meanwhile, we have Aleister Black trying to tell LA Knight, maybe the reason you haven't won a world title is because you don't have that killer instinct in you, that willingness to do bad. Like, you see what Sami Zayn is doing. He found that killer instinct and it worked out wonderfully for him. Knight, thus far, has resisted Aleister Black's little words here, and thus far, it has not paid off. Ricky Saints beat him in what is considered an upset in this storyline, and now apparently the two parts of those storylines are starting to intertwine. So this group here seems to be finding its legs. Whether or not they can work together is an entirely different story. Alright, next up is the Storm versus the Best. This has been something that I feel like a lot of people have been wanting for a while now. Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. Sorry about that. But yeah, this is something they've wanted for probably ever since Jade Cargill first got to WWE. Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. Those two going together. It even says so in the summary here. It's a match 2 years in the making. As two former friends and women's tag champs, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, finally collide after all these years. The goal is simple. With Jade now on Raw and Bianca back from injury, both sides want to become the next challenger for Liv Morgan's Women's World Championship. Stephanie Vaquer was also involved in this. Bianca served as like a minor, as a guest in that storyline, and she's been having a little moments with Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill has been trying to get back with Bianca, doing like, "Hey, girl, what if we teamed up again? Wouldn't that be cool?" Bianca, she's not having any of this. She's kind of just over that idea. Plus, she's choosing very bad times to do so. So, Jade's been trying to get Bianca's attention, essentially. And she finally got that at Backlash, which was chaos, essentially. Alright. This one, this one's your WWE title picture over on SmackDown. We have Randy Orton, and he is going up against three potential challengers here. We have Ilya Dragunov, that's the Czar, Royce Keys, which is the Key, and Finn Balor, which, no surprise, is the Demon. So, let's see if we can go all through this. Now granted the WWE Championship, Randy Orton has plans to terrorize Friday Night SmackDown however he sees fit. However, throughout the next few months, he will have to overcome several challenges. Ilya Dragunov, Royce Keys, and, new to SmackDown, Finn Balor. With Cody Rhodes out of commission for the near foreseeable future, who will prove himself worthy of the Viper, especially since Randy has been busy finding allies of his own. Those allies will come in handy very soon. One such ally, however, is one he doesn't really want. That being Angel Garza. Angel Garza, he has been trying to get in Randy Orton's good side, trying to show that, hey, I may love being with the ladies, but I could be a good hand if need be. Unfortunately, he has yet to show that. Meanwhile, with all this, Randy Orton essentially won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 39. Ilya Dragunov, he won a fatal five-way to determine the first challenger for Randy. And they had some matches along the way. Ilya Dragunov has been trying to prove to Randy that he deserves to be considered a part of the main event sphere. He deserves a chance to be in that upper echelon. Randy doesn't see it that way, but nothing you can really do about that. In the end, Randy and Ilya, they had a pretty solid little match at Backlash. That was the main event of the show to determine the WWE Champion. The way I had it set was, it was a very close match. Both men were on opposite sides of the ring, and they both charged at each other. Ilya for the Torpedo Moscow, but in the end, Orton hit that RKO, won the match, and was still the champion. Who will be next for Randy Orton to face? We don't know yet, but I'm sure it will be a good time for all. And keep your eyes on some of the names here. Again, these are surprise tools that will help us later. Time's up for the smoke. This one, pretty self-explanatory. The Street Profits have returned to the WWE and have come to find that the landscape has vastly changed. Maybe a bit too much for their liking, especially when they see that Shinsuke has entered a renaissance with a newcomer to the ranks, Hiromu Takahashi. How would he take to being outdone by the seemingly timeless Tucson? So far, they're not exactly taking it very well. They lost to Timeless, and I believe was one of their first match, if not their first match as a tag team. Street Profits, they've been trying to get adjusted to the new system here on Monday Night Raw. So far, they've just been very confused, or at least they seem to be confused. But recently they've invited Timeless to the ring on Monday night to essentially try and welcome them in. They're trying to be the bigger men, or so they claim. And the last two, those are currently ongoing. This is Stephanie Buckley and Liv Morgan. Cora Jade is now with them. Judgment Day are essentially dead. They have evolved into Generation Trouble. That's Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade trying to go after Stephanie Vaquer. And most recently, they've had their rematch at Backlash, which was a no DQ match. It was absolute mayhem. It was chaos. Everybody was interfering, including Jade Cargill. It's assumed this is the end of the feud, but there may be a little more with to it. And finally, unfinished business. That's Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. But now I've had an Axiom and Nathan Frazier. They are serving. I'm putting a little bit of real life into this one. Nathan Frazier being Seth Rollins' protege in this game, and a graduate of his in the Black and Brave Academy. So, yeah, that's basically what's been going on here. And that's it for all the storylines. Wait, did I? Hang on here. I think I might have made a little boo-boo here. Did I make a boo-boo? I'm going to check my show history. Oh, I did have Seth Rollins beat Braun Breaker. Oops. Okay. Alright, shit happens. Shit happens. It is what it is. Alright, but now with that done, I am going to be showing you the rosters for Raw and SmackDown. And I do want to mention this now while I have the time. I did make a few releases beforehand. I have released the following people: Aria Bennett, Berto, BFAB, Bronco Nima, Bruce Del Toro, Dante Cham, Dexter Lumis, Eric Rowan, Eric, Humberto Carrello, Ivy Nile, Joaquin Weil, Josh Briggs, Logan Paul, Lucian Price, Mason Holiday, Michin, Nikki Cross, Tate Welder, Tongaloa. I've also released Brock Lesnar. So basically, undercard guys that I wasn't gonna have a place for, and some people that I'm just not comfortable booking, unfortunately. So let's take a look at the rosters as they stand. Starting with Monday Night Raw. We start with Alba Fire, solid hand in the ring, great fundamentals, very consistent, not too bad with performance, kind of an undercarder for us. Still technically have her with Chelsea Green, which is perfectly fine. She is essentially one of the paid jobbers to the stars, essentially. She'll win against the jobbers, she'll lose against everyone else, essentially. Alex Shelley, very solid, usually pretty solid, great technical worker, decent performance, mostly for the charisma, good psychology, has stayed consistent popularity-wise, is starting to decline, however. He's starting to decline slowly but surely. So it's basically a last hurrah for him before I essentially have to make them a gatekeeper team. Angelo Dawkins, not a particularly great wrestler in terms of primary skills, but fundamentals are solid. Performance is whatever. Lost a little bit of popularity, but not too bad. Bailey, very solid hand, great psychology. Fundamentals are good. Charisma, performance, that's all very solid. Not on time decline, which is good news for me. I have been siphoning off some of her popularity, feeding it to others, which at this stage in her career, I feel like that is a good use for her. We have the man, Becky Lynch, or as I have now taken to call her, the Forever. She is the forever woman of professional wrestling. She is the person that got women's wrestling to be where it is today, and she feels because of that she can boss everyone around. Currently feeling with Sol Ruka, as we've mentioned before, and yeah, no, she is great in the ring, very good in the ring. Is best on the microphone, which does not surprise me. Mental skills are good, fundamentals solid, Not on time decline yet. She is still, she is 39, so I don't know how much longer I have, but she has been doing a great job putting over Soruga. Hasn't lost that much popularity, actually, which is the big thing for me. Which is a very big thing for me. Bianca Belair, also on Raw. Always been solid in the ring. Good fundamentals, especially athleticism and stamina. Always have been a fan of Bianca Belair, and I have done a fair bit with her thus far. Popularity has stayed relatively consistent up to this point. Not much to say here. She's definitely on the one of the higher. She's one of the top women's wrestlers for Raw, and she's probably going to stay there for a little bit longer to come. Bravo, that is Tyler Bate. Always been a solid wrestler, great fundamentals. He's mainly a job guy, but he is getting a little bit over because he is just very solid in the ring. Bronson Reed, great hand, great brawler. Unfortunately, he is injured, so can't really use him right now. Charlotte Flair is Charlotte Flair. We know what she is at this stage in her career. Has not hit time decline, which is very nice to see. Consistency is not ideal. Neither is selling. But I'm hopeful I can use her popularity to put over new wrestlers. Given she has an egomania personality type and also business mindset, that's gonna be difficult, I imagine. But I will see what I can do. Chelsea Green, never been the best wrestler. Fundamentals are not amazing. She shines most when it comes to the performance. The charisma is very solid, good star quality. And yeah, that's basically where she just shines. She is just the resident chicken shit heel here for the Raw Women's Division. And I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. I can use her to get wins over people, over jobbers, occasionally steal one against mid-card hands, and that's perfectly fine. Chris Sabin. Chris Sabin, 44, still going relatively strong for now. Also very good in the ring. Very good in the ring, I should say. Definitely looking to make the most of this last hurrah he has. We'll see what happens here. Cora Jade. Now, admittedly, Cora Jade might be a little bit of a gamble, but I do have her on the same brand as Bayley, her mentor. She's not great with any one thing, but I've been slowly easing her back into the show. I'm slowly easing her back into the show. She's a part of Generation Trouble, along with Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez. Popularity has stayed relatively consistent, although I don't believe I've had a match with her as of yet. If I have, it wasn't a very long one. Dominic Mysterio. I mean, it's Dominic Mysterio. The wrestling is decent, but that's not what you come here for. You come here because this man is a heel magnet. This man's a heel magnet. He is an amazing heel. His comedic timing is excellent. And then the bell ring is not ideal, but honestly, it's fine given the circumstances. He is the prototypical chicken shit heel who I can use to have him go over on a lot of wrestlers, but still be relatively over because he's just an asshole, essentially. In character, he's just an asshole. Dragon Lee, I mean, what do you want me to say? Technically good. Aerial, flashiness, incredible stuff. Good fundamentals for the most part. He's not much of a talker, but he doesn't need to be. He can work. He can work, and he can work really, really well. solid hand to have in the mid card. I am perfectly happy to have him here on Raw. McIntyre, excellent brawler, excellent, very solid on the mic, very solid fundamentals. This man just, he's just a perfect package. He is a total package, and something I would say of a utility player. He is someone who I can plug into any role I want. I could have him go face if I want to. I probably won't anytime soon. I could have him go for world titles, go for the IC title. I could have him face an uppercomer or someone high up on the card, and he will put it all into it because he is very, very good at what he does. He's basically my utility guy. He can do whatever I want, and I will be glad to have him. I will be very glad to have him. Now, he is currently injured with a fractured collarbone, so I can't use him just yet, at least not in the ring. But once he is clear, I'm going to have a lot of fun with him. All right, here's another one of the new signings I made before this. Duke Hudson is back. Yes, Duke Hudson, he was released a couple years back, I believe. Yeah, he was released a couple years back. Not great in the ring, but his performance is solid enough. His whole thing is that he used to chase you valedictorian. He's trying to adjust to life after college, or chase you, I guess. I haven't really found a place for him just yet. He's mainly been working dark shows. I hope I can introduce him to Raw proper soon, because I do think there is a role for him to play. Probably as one of the undercard hands, but we will see. We'll see. El Grande Americano, no surprise here. This is the man that is allegedly known as Ludwig Kaiser. He is very good in the ring, as you would expect. Decent on the microphone, good star quality. And he's been slowly getting over. He hasn't really been winning that much, but he's been performing the role, and the wins he has gotten have mattered pretty well in the grand scheme of things. Basically, he's a fun little mid-card act, and that is something that we can all enjoy. El Hijo de Pequeño. I got him from AAA because of our working agreement. I believe they're one of our developmental territories. I don't know if I necessarily would agree with that, but I understand the logic here. And, I mean, hey, I can't complain. Look at that aerial flashiness. Look at that. Look at that. That is incredible. Now, psychology, selling, and safety aren't ideal, but I think I can make it work. I think he might need a manager or someone who could talk for him, but for the time being, I am having him go solo. So I can just let him do his thing, try and get over with the people. So far, so good, I would say. He is definitely making a jump. I'm hoping I can turn him into a very solid mid-card presence who can occasionally go a little further if called upon. Because I think that would be good for him. Gunther, it's Gunther, my dude. If you've seen a Gunther match, you should know what this man is. He's one of the greatest wrestlers of the modern era, maybe of all time. It's Gunther. He's going to be in the top of the card. Maybe sometimes bringing other people up to his level. He's going to be around for a while. Alright. Next up, Hammerstone, or Alex Hammerstone as he is sometimes called. That's another one of the new signings here on Monday Night Raw. And not the best in-ring worker. Decent mic guy. But I don't think it really matters. He's just here to beat the living shit out of people. And so far, he's been doing so. He is currently 3-0 since coming on to Monday Night Raw. And, he's done a pretty good job. He's done a pretty good job in the monster getting his feet wet role. slowly gaining popularity. Hopefully, he will reach a point where he can do things without being dinged or being unimportant. Should not be too long. We will see what happens. His most recent opponent actually was the next person up, Heath Slater. Yep, Heath Slater's back. He is very, very charismatic. Not a great in-ring worker. In fact, I wouldn't say he's really a good in-ring worker either, but he doesn't need to be. It's a Dominic Mysterio thing. You don't need to be a good worker when you could just talk your mouth off. And Heath Slater's whole thing is just, he's here to job the people. He's here to job to everyone under the sun, and that is perfectly fine by us. Hiromu Takahashi is another one of the new members here. And unfortunately, he is already experiencing time decline. He is currently 36 years old, too, so that's not great. That's not great. But I'm going to get the most out of him before he becomes too cooked for me to use outside of the jobber. He currently has a tag team with Shinsuke Nakamura, and so far, so good, I would say. Went from 38 to 40, slowly building up his popularity. Still a solid worker for now. Consistency and safety, not ideal, but hopefully I can get something out of him before he becomes cooked. Ivar Hansen, or Ivar as most people call him in real life. Now, this guy was actually very close to being released, but I realized he's not on time decline, surprisingly enough. He's not on time decline. He's still very solid in the ring. So I figured I can repackage him and have him do something new. Now, we're not entirely sure what that new thing is yet, but I think when we get there, it's going to be something very interesting. Something very interesting. And hopefully people like it. Okay. I think now is probably a good time to address the elephant in the room. Jacob Fatu is the World Heavyweight Champion. This was not meant to be the plan. This was not meant to be the plan whatsoever. Now, let's get this out of the way. Jacob Fatu, great in the ring. Psychology's not ideal, but that is what it is. He's good on the mic. His star quality is very solid. He is getting very over in a very quick amount of time. This man is excellent. But the reason why he was not meant to be the World Heavyweight Champion is because of this. Let me see if I can find him. He's not on the roster. Let me zoom out. And you'll see what's going on here. Yeah. Roman Reigns got hit with a severe concussion in their match of Backlash. Very severe concussion. So he's out for the rest of the year, and it's going to be a very close call as to whether or not he can make WrestleMania. And that is a massive fucking problem for us. Because with his skills in the ring, his fundamentals and charisma, that's one of our goats. Like, that's one of our top guys here. One of the absolute top guys here in our company. If not the top guy. So, losing him, that sucks. But it does open an opportunity for Jacob Fatu to try his luck as world champion. We'll see how he does. I think he can do a good job with it. At least I'm hopeful he can do a good job with it. We will find out when we get there. By the way, he is definitely one of our linchpins for the time being. Jade Cargill, not a good wrestler, but by God, my God, she looks like an absolute stud. Every time you see her, she just looks like a stud. And she's decently popular, so hook or by crook, I'm just gonna do what I can with Jade. She'll definitely be in the upper card, at least for the time being. And we'll see where she goes from there. JC Mateo. Okay. This guy, one of the more underrated wrestlers on Raw. Because you look at that brawling and your technique. You look at most of the fundamentals. That is a solid hand to have. That is a solid hand. Not a. Now, he can't really talk all that well, but honestly, you don't need him to. Like, his thing is he can be a good mid card monster guy. He can be in that mid card or tag team scene. In fact, he is in the tag team scene with Tamatanga, and they could just beat up people there. And he does his job very well, and I think he'll have some good matches for us. He's also not on time decline, which is very good news for us. So who knows how long we'll have that for, but he seems like a wrestler who will be sticking around for a fair bit. And here's another one. Javon Evans. He's already 22, and this is what he looks like. Dude is getting very good at a crazy pace. Like, he's already showing signs of growth. He's always been very flashy. He's always had good athleticism. Everything else is starting to find himself. Charisma is good. Once the microphone skills get there, he is going to be all sailing from here. He is your current Intercontinental Champion. And he's got Prodigy. So, yeah, this guy here might be sticking around a while. He could be one of the cornerstones here. We'll see. Jey Uso. It's Jey Uso. He's very over. He's your yeet man. Charismatic. Not the best in-ring worker, but again, you don't really need to be. Jimmy Uso, also not that great in the ring. Not as good with the charisma, but he has his niche. That niche is with Jimmy Uso, and they have been a good tag team together. Always been a very good tag team together. Also current tag team champs. Joe Henry. He is another example of a wrestler who isn't the best in the ring, but with his charisma and his star power, he really, really does not need to be. It helps that he's also not on time decline, so that is always good to see. Yeah, he's someone who I personally am very happy to have in the upper mid card of Monday Night Raw. There is a chance he could go a little higher, but we'll see what happens. Liv Morgan, Women's World Champion. Not a whole lot to say here. Not great in the ring, but you look at that performance, that is the money shot here. Have her talk, and she will get you where you need to go. It's a big reason why she has that popularity. It's a big reason why she is currently the Women's World Champion. Yeah, so charisma's what matters here. You don't need to worry about anything else. Mike Santana, also one of the new signings here in WWE. Monday Night Raw. Very solid in the ring, for the most part. Specializes in brawling and hardcore, but can do pretty much anything. And a pretty decent promo. I don't know what his ceiling is. It might just be in the mid card, but he's still new. He's got that new kid sheen here. And I imagine, I hope, he has a few more years to him before he starts declining. Because I think he could be a fun little person to work on. Montez Ford, he teams with Angelo Dawkins. This is just me. I feel like he's a little underrated in terms of primary. I feel like from what I have when I have seen him, he's always been a very good worker. Like, yes, I do agree his aerial and flashiness is 65 and 74. I do think it is good. I feel like it's a little better than that. But then I am not the one who made this mod, so not really something I can really talk about. But basically, still in the title scene, gonna be just fine there. Mr. Iguana, also from AAA, good high flyer, has that weird charisma to him, and also you can't forget about Yayeska. I'm still sort of easing him into WWE. I don't know how high his ceiling is going to be on Raw, but he's here for a fun time. He could be a nice little undercard hand. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Naomi is still pregnant in this timeline. She is still pregnant. Not fatigued at all. Maternity leave, she won't be back until June of 2027. I don't know if we'll even get that far, so we'll see. We will definitely see. Nanny Iheart, she has always been a good technical worker, great psychology. Song inconsistency is not great. She is not great on the mic, which I feel like is a little unfair. I think she's a little better than people give her credit for. But again, not my place to complain. She is still a good hand. She is actually the women's speed champion. I've moved the speed titles up to the main roster, in case you are wondering. And so yeah, so that's basically what she's been doing. She's also been teaming up with Tom Lawler, who we will touch on in a little bit. Obafemi, what do you want me to say? Obafemi, he's the hottest young star in wrestling today. The hottest young star in wrestling today. And I feel like the primary is a little underrated, but also I get why it's rated there. But what matters here is this guy here. This guy is already pretty solid at this age. Once the basics and psychology get up, he will be he will be damn near flawless. And he is already getting very over. Like, look at this. 62 to 72. Some bars hitting 73. Now it's 73 with one bar hitting 74. Yeah, in case you haven't guessed, this man might end up being the face of WWE at some point. We will see. Penta, very good all rounder, great brawler. My goodness, has always been very charismatic. However, he is hitting time decline, which is just not ideal. Not ideal. So I brought in Ray Phoenix so we can do a Lucha Bros run before Penta becomes completely and utterly cooked. His consistency is not great, so I'm hoping for the best with this. Psycho Clown, again, that's another person who I don't know how high his ceiling is going to be on Raw, but he is very charismatic. So I imagine he could get over if the circumstances are correct. Solid hand in the ring. Not much more to really say. Just gotta hope that the right opportunities come to him and the rest will come. So we'll see what happens. Raquel Rodriguez, good brawler, solid hand for the women's division here on Monday Night Raw. Not really much more to say. She is a good monster figure for Generation Trouble. Radio Americano, Pete Dunne, excellent in the ring, always has been. It's never really been his problem. Just really short and not the best talker. That is always a killer here in WWE. But he is making the most of this Americano gimmick, though. Props to him. But a Phoenix, one of the best in-ring performers in the company, I would say. Like, holy cow, this man can do pretty much anything. I wish his charisma was better, but I still think he has a good place in the tag division, especially alongside his brother Penta. Yeah, he is a dynamo. He'll stick around for a fair bit. Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio. He is probably the greatest luchador of the modern era, if not all time. He is just starting the decline, the time decline. That looks like it's just starting up the time decline, which makes sense considering he's 51. I'm probably just gonna use him to put over fresh faces. Like, that's my thinking here. He gets put on. He comes in, puts over new kids, and yeah. Speaking of new kids, this guy here is actually one of the more recent signees. Richard Holiday. Uh, yeah, not a great in-ring worker, not the best. Does have good talking stats. And you could probably guess why it is I have brought him here. Take a look at who he's managing. If you follow MLW, you will remember the Dynasty. That is going to be like the initial plan. Whatever happens from there, we'll figure it out. Roxanne Perez, decent in-ring hand, decent performance, all around decent, especially considering she is still just 24. Time is definitely on her side, especially with the prodigy label on her. That is always a good thing to have. She's someone who I think is going to be built up slow, so that eventually, when it does come time for her to be one of the top ladies in the women's division, she will be ready. At 24, she's got plenty of time. Santos Escobar, he's injured and already on time decline, so I'm gonna be real. I don't know how much use I'm gonna get out of him. Hopefully, I can do something with him, but we'll see. Sheamus, also on time decline, also injured. Still pretty good. Hopefully, I can get something left out of him before he retires. He is very solid in every facet. Still very popular. We will see what I can do with him once he gets back. Nakamura, also on time decline. Pretty solid in the ring. Great psychology. Consistency is rough, but my God, look at that charisma and tell me he is not still useful in some capacity. Like, he could still work the wrestling. He could still work the mid card. Occasionally go up to the world title if need be. Right now, I have him in the tag team division with Hiromu Takahashi. And that's probably where they're going to stay for the foreseeable future. Sol Ruka. It's Sol Ruka. Definitely the aerial and flashiness is solid. This is another wrestler I feel like he could be rated a little bit higher if you wanted to, but I get why it's like this for now. She is still young, still new. And as you can tell, she has been one of my projects here. She's gone from 48 to 61. So yeah, Sol Ruka is probably one of the fastest rising, if not the fastest rising star in the WWE right now. Like, come on, you're going from this to this. And it's all because of the feud with Becky Lynch. Like, she's gonna be here a while. She's going to be here for a very long while. Stephanie Bauer, excellent in the ring. Decent performance. always been a very good wrestler in my opinion. I will say, I think they're underestimating the popularity a little bit. I feel like she should be up in the 60s, like low to at best mid 60s, because she is definitely getting over in WWE. Again, that's just my opinion. But yeah, Stephanie Bakir, one of the top names in the women's division. Always a happy presence here. Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga, actually not a bad hand. Like, he's honestly not awful. Like, I'd like for him to be a little bit more, but he does have decent charisma. His primary skills are solid enough. He's gaining popularity a little bit. He's a nice little mid-card hand. Very nice mid-card hand. And another guy I can just have him. He could be a utility player down the line. You never know. We'll see. Tom Lawler, another new signee. Haven't really done much with him yet. He's already on time decline, which is rough at this stage. So I'm not sure how much use I'm going to get out of him at this stage of his career. He is with Natty Neidhart, or Natty, as the resident MMA guy. I don't know what I'm going to be doing with him yet. I'm still in the feeling out process for him. Hopefully I can think of something for him on, like, Raw proper, but we'll get there when we get there. Tony D'Angelo, one of the newer names here. Not great in the ring. The charisma and performance skills are very good, so definitely going to be applying a lot of talking for this man. And he is slowly getting popular. Slowly getting popular. He's better as heel, that's what I have him as. Definitely working the Don gimmick. That probably should be changed, but it is what it is. His time will come. I don't know if he'll ever get like to main event status. There will definitely be a place in the mid card for him. Uncle Howdy got rid of all of his. I got rid of all of his friends. I am going to turn him back to Bo Dallas at some point. Turn him back to Bo Dallas and just have him put over people. Because I feel like that's the best thing I can do for him at this point. Because he's not great in the ring, but he can still talk. So, do that. I might honestly have him be a manager for someone. Haven't decided who yet, though. We'll get there when we get there. Zarya, one of the newer names. Decent brawler. Still definitely in, like, the feeling out process for her. She is still very new. But star quality is very solid. I think once the basics get there, she is going to take off. It's just a matter of finding the time for her. Zoe Stark, injured. It's a shame. Decent hand. Hopefully I can find something for her when she comes back. But yeah, that's Raw. Now let's go to SmackDown. Akira Tozawa. And still teaming with Otis. Sadly, he is starting to decline. He is starting to hit time decline, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to have him be there for. He's got a couple more years, at least one more year before it's like, yeah, I don't know what else I can do with you, unfortunately. So, yeah, he will probably be in the jobber realm for the foreseeable future. Aleister Black, the necessary evil of WWE. Just all around solid is the best way I could put it. He's all around solid. He's not amazing at anything, but not bad at anything either. He's a good hand to have. Could be a utility player. Someone you can have in the mid card or go up to the main event. Whatever is needed. Alexa Bliss. Excellent performance. She ran. She ran. So Liv Morgan can fly. Essentially. Basically, take everything I said about Liv Morgan. Applied it to Alexa Bliss. This woman will make you a major part of any, and I mean any show. Any show. And she's absolutely got the popularity to spare, too. So you can never put over wrestlers. You can never compete for titles. That's perfectly fine, you know? It's all fine. Angel Garza. Angel Garza, honestly, is a lot more underrated than you would think here. Because, no, the performance isn't amazing, but he's got good fundamentals. He can, he's a good high flyer. Like, and the star quality isn't bad either. He's not bad. Genuinely not bad. You could, if someone wanted to, you could genuinely do something. Will they? Will I be able to? We'll see. Hopefully I can. Actually, there is another name I need to get from there. Apollo Crews, another guy that was going to be released, but wound up changing my mind on him because he is very good. Like, very good. He is a very good hand to have in the ring. Like, I don't know what more I can really do with him other than Chopper Guy, but honestly, I think that's a role he's best at. That is a great role for him. Asuka, 44 years old. Do not have much time left with him. With her. Amazing in the ring, but I would expect that considering it's Asuka we're talking about. Good lord. Like, she's always been popular, even more so recently. Holy cow. That's 10 points more. But yeah, she is just excellent in everything she does. And I have to enjoy her for as long as I have her, because she might want to retire soon. We'll see. Axiom, the current men's speed champion. My guy, if you were any bit charismatic, you would be huge. You would be one of the top guys in the company. Or at least a solid hand. I'm going to try my best with him, though. Because holy cow, this man can go in the ring. This man can go. I mean, go. Genuinely, he's on that list for one of the best wrestlers in the company. Blake Monroe, again, not a great wrestler, but their charisma gets her there. I thought about keeping her in NXT for a little bit longer, but I couldn't argue with the charisma. She's over. I think she'll be around for a bit. She will eventually get to a point where she could be in that main event position. I hope. Braun Breaker, good in the ring. Psychology isn't ideal. Charisma, solid. Star quality is excellent. Once the psychology gets up, it's going to be smooth sailing for him. Very smooth sailing. Brutus and Julius Creed, I'm doing them both. Brutus Creed, good wrestler for the most part. The psychology is not great. Brutus can't talk. Like, straight up, he can't talk. That's why they have a manager with him now. It's not longer Ivy now. We'll talk about her in a little bit. I'll knock out Julius Creed. Also can't talk. A fair bit better than Brutus, which is interesting. Also randomly has 81 star quality, which is very interesting, all things considered. Like, very interesting. Candice LeRae, I'm gonna be honest with you, she is probably going straight to manager and jobber duty for as long as I have her around. She's already starting to decline, and it won't be long until her stamina goes, and once that's gone, there really isn't much I can do for you, unfortunately. Which is a shame because she is good enough on the mic where I could put her in that manager role, but unfortunately, them's the breaks. Like, someone has to take that role, and unfortunately, it looks like that's going to be Candace. Carmelo Hayes, excellent in ring performer. Fundamentals are coming together. Performance is pretty good. He's someone who I feel like should also be in that circle along with Obafemi, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, even if he came along a little earlier than some of them. And he's already getting pretty over too. He went from 51 to 61, which is a very good sign to see. I might eventually give him a chance to be a challenger for the WWE Championship. We will see. This is another one where we will absolutely see. Chad Gable, it's Chad Gable. He is very good. His charisma is a lot better than you would think. This man has done so much in WWE. He's not on time decline, which is wonderful news. So I've got a long time with him still. A long, long time with him still. He is going to be a very good pick to have. Troy Dempsey, one of the newcomers here. Good technical wrestler, that's his specialty. Not great on the mic, but given who he's around, or at least going to be around soon, I don't think he'll have to worry about that. Not too much, at least. Yep, has that tag team with Lexus King. Getting over, which is good. That's something I like to see. Uh, Probably going to be in the mid card for his entire career, just like his father, William Regal. And that is perfectly fine. I think that's a good place for him. CM Punk. This CM Punk is me as CM Punk. Enjoy him as best we can because he is in time decline, and I don't know how much longer he's going to be around for. That was performance skills, though. Lord, this man can talk like anyone, like no one else can. He is incredible on the mic. He might be the best mic performer in the game once it starts. And the psychology is excellent, the basics are good. This is a guy who could still do a good job for you for the moment. I don't know how much longer he has until he has to put people over, but this is here. Oh, bless me. Apologies for that. Yeah, apologies for that, folks. Nice little sneeze here. I will edit that part out. But yeah, CM Punk, very good with what he does. And got him for a little bit longer. Not too much longer. We'll see how much longer he has. Definitely very over, so should be interesting to see what I can do with him. Cody Rhodes, the current WWE champ, no, the former WWE champion in this universe, and good enough in the ring. The psychology, however, that's what carries it, along with all the fundamentals. And of course, performance skills, excellent there. He fits the WWE mold to a T. Not an overly amazing wrestler, but he does all the little things right. Like the performance, the mentals, the fundamentals, all that good stuff. Also, he's got good booking skills, which could come in handy for us. He is the, for now, face of WWE. And once the time comes, he will pass the torch on to whoever is next up. Whoever that is, we will see. Damian Priest, great brawler, solid enough fundamentals. He's SmackDown's equivalent to Drew McIntyre. maybe not quite on the same level, but he's a guy who I can have anywhere in the card and he will do a great job with it. Main event, no problem. Mid card, no problem. Whatever he needs to do, he will do it because he's just very good at what he does. And Hijo Wagner Jr., that's one of the guys from Triple A. Excellent in ring worker already. Good charisma. Good star quality, too. So, not great on the mic. He will probably need a manager, which is fine by us. He will get there when we get there. Basics and looking pretty good, too. Obviously paired up with Galeno Del Mal, who is also a very solid in-ring performer. And will only get better with time, I presume. He is a powerhouse, big guy, someone that I think WWE would love to have on their roster. Once the fundamentals come in, with the psychology, I think he will turn out very solid. Elton Prince, sadly injured, will not be back until next year. If we even make it that far. Not that great to begin with, so we'll see what I have for him if we get there. Ethan Page, solid hand, great fundamentals. Very good fundamentals, and an excellently good on the microphone. Probably not going to be a world champion unless something insane happens, but he will definitely fill a role for SmackDown's mid card scene. That's what I called him up for so far. That seems to be what the plan is, and he is definitely getting over so far. Evil, one of the new guys here in WWE, has not formally debuted yet. He is pretty good from what I am seeing here. Good charisma. I don't know how much I'm gonna get with him at this stage in his career, because time decline could be around the corner, but at the very least, he gets time with Io Sky, his fiance. Fun times. Fallon Henley, not amazing in the ring, but decent enough performance skills, easy to do business with. She is with some part of JC Jane and Lainey Reed. We'll touch on them later. Probably will stay in the tag division for the women. Finn Balor, another very, very good in-ring performer. Another one that is actually just starting to hit time decline from what it looks like. It doesn't seem to have hit him too bad, so I'm assuming this is like very early in this end time decline, so he's got juice left, but I will have to hurry and get that juice out before it's spoiled. I'm hoping I have another good year with him before he becomes the veteran gatekeeper again. Flammer, part of Los Toxicos, decent in-ring worker, nothing more, nothing less. Still trying to find a place for her, along with Lady Maravilla, also decent for what she does. Still trying to find her place. Hopefully we'll find one for her at some point. Julia, very good in the ring. Fundamentals are very solid. And performance is actually really good. And look at the star quality and the sex appeal here. It was actually lower. But she got ripped during the save. And look at her now. This is someone who, if all goes right, I am building this division around for a while to come. Grayson Waller, I've always liked. I think he's a good hand. Again, nothing amazing, but nothing bad there. The performance is where he is best at, and he does that very well. Very nice little mid-card hand. Doesn't need to be anything more or less. Ilya Dragunov is incredible in the ring. And he is proven to not be too shabby on the microphone, too. I tested him out in the main event scene, see what he could do there. And he did a very, very solid enough job there. He did a solid enough job, so that's probably where he is going to stay for the foreseeable future, which is good because holy cow, he might be the best all-around performer in WWE. Well, I say that, and then here's Io Sky. Well, oh my god, look at her. She is incredible in every way, shape, and form, which I would hope, considering it's Io Sky we're talking about. Like, my goodness, this woman, she's gonna be around for at least a couple days. JC Jane, call up, good performance. I'm hoping I can turn her into another Alexa Bliss or a Liv Morgan type, where the in-ring quality is not what you come for, it's the charisma. We will see. I am doing what they're doing with her on SmackDown right now. We'll see what happens. JD McDonough currently injured. That is a shame because he is very good with the fundamentals and the primary stuff. Good mid-card hand to have. As is Johnny Gargano. Excellent fundamentals. He is the very definition of a good mid-card hand. Good in the ring. Great with the fundamentals. Can be used to put over the future. And maybe occasionally have a little run of himself. He is part of the glue that holds a company together. Jonathan Gresham is the most out of nowhere addition I have on the roster. Because he is everything a WWE wrestler is not. He does not fit the mold whatsoever. Which is wild. Which is unfortunate because he's got great fundamentals, great primary skills. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing with him. But once I find him something to do, I think he will make the most of that opportunity. At least, I am hoping he will do that. We will see. Jordan Grace, good brawler, decent technician, decent fundamentals. She is the female equivalent of Aleister Black. Nothing bad, nothing great. Just does her job and does it relatively well. And that is perfectly fine by me. Kairi Sane, a very good in-ring worker. Consistency and safety, not ideal, but it is what it is. The psychology is amazing, and so are basics and selling. Performance isn't bad either. Is definitely showing out there. Is better as a babyface, so we'll see if she does indeed turn face at some point during this save. We will see. Kevin Owens, he will be back by September. We will see for sure. Excellent in the ring, excellent on the mic. Assuming he is not on time decline, it doesn't look like he is at the moment. You would have another year of fun to do with him before you have to make him a veteran gatekeeper. Kiana James. This is another one of my pet projects here. Your current Women's United States Champion. Not great in the ring yet. I think I have her in the performance. I don't have her in the performance center. Let's change that. There we go. She's in the performance center now. Not amazing on the mic. She is getting there. Star quality is very good though, and I'm hoping I can use that to further develop her. Ideally, if this Women's United States title run goes successfully, I could see her being a challenger for the Women's World title. We'll see when we get there. I'm hopeful. But yeah, that is where we stand at this time. Alright, I'm gonna do this. Kit Wilson! I think I got that right. But yeah, Kit Wilson, decent in the ring, good on the microphone. He has the whole redefining masculinity gimmick that's gone very over. He's just a fun, gimmicky character. That's just what he is. He's a fun gimmick. You can do some good stuff with him. I don't think you're ever gonna make a world champion. I'm definitely not, but he has his place. Kofi Kingston, he was one of my first guys when I first got into wrestling. I always thought he looked cool when he flew around. He's just starting time decline from what it looks like. So I think he's got another year, but I am going to have him start passing the torch now while he's still good enough to do so, because I do think he is a good wrestler and I want to make the most of it. LA Knight, male equivalent of Alexa Bliss, and where the wrestling's not what you come for, it's the talking, and he could talk. He could talk in spades. He is excellent on that microphone, and it elevates everything else. Not a great in-ring worker, no problem. He can just talk, and he will be very over for you. Will I actually give him a world title run in this universe? I don't know. We'll find out. Laney Reed called up with the rest of Fatal Influence. Not much to really say here. Very much a project. We'll see if she pans out. Hopefully she does. Because the star quality the star quality is very solid. If that pans out, she could be something. Along with Lash Legend, who is basically younger Jade Cargill, younger and slightly better Jade Cargill. Like, she's got power, she's got athleticism, she is definitely developing the charisma too. And with A3 star quality, I think you might have something here. I think this is another woman who, if you build her up, she could be a linchpin for you for the foreseeable future. Lexis King, solid but not spectacular everywhere, is starting to get over though, which is good news for me. Probably going to be a mid-card mainstay. Could occasionally branch out a little bit, but I think this is where he's most comfortable. Lyra Valkyria, solid, safe. I feel like she's better on the microphone than given credit for, but again, I won't judge. She does it all. She's an alright wrestler, and that is perfectly fine by me. Matt Cardona, decent enough, great charisma, good star quality. Is 40, so I don't know how much time I have of him until he hits time decline. But he is fine enough where I can use him as a job guy, and it's perfectly fine. Matt Sydal, one of the newer signees, he is here to put over people while he still can, because his stamina is excellent and he can still work a pretty good match. And that is perfectly fine for me. Metalik, I haven't officially debuted him, but he's pretty much the same as Matt Sydal. He's still young enough to do a job. He's still young enough that I can do stuff with him and whatnot. Mustafa Ali, good worker, good charisma, good fundamentals, is back in quotation marks because he did come back for WrestleMania. He replaced JD McDonough because he was out injured. I haven't officially debuted him yet. Now, he's going to be known as the benefactor of Law and Order when we get there. But yeah, that is a when we get there thing. For now, just biding his time. I think he'll be a pretty good mid-card hand for us when we get there. Could occasionally see him being a challenger for WWE Championship once a face gets the title, of course, but that's neither here nor there. Nathan Frazier, you can fly and you have great fundamentals. Do not let him cut a promo. Like, he just cannot do it. Like, You want the definition of a solid mid-card hand? That's probably your guy. Really, he probably fits more in AEW, but he's in WWE, and you know, it is what it is. He is. He's going to be in the tag division probably for most of, if not his entire career. We will see. Nia Jax. I feel like at this point, most people have come to terms with her being better in the ring than is suggested here. I do think she is underrated here. Definitely better than what it seems. But again, not judging. Just how it is here. She is 41, so I don't know how much time I'm gonna have before she's like cooked. Like when she does get cooked, I will probably have her do the job for Lash Legend, and that's probably just the end of it. But that's a while away. Otis, decent enough in the ring, great charisma and acting skills, good tag team body who is still relatively popular enough that getting a win off him could lead to something. Piper Niven, sadly injured, decent brawler, very good brawler. Randy Orton, I think he's just starting to decline because his primary skills are still intact. Ooh, throat's trying to give out. Apologies, folks. I've been talking for God knows how long. But yeah, Randy Orton. Well, you build a wrestler from the ground up, he's gonna look like Randy Orton, most likely. He has always been pretty solid in the ring. Great psychology, great performance skills. It's Randy Orton. He's one of the all-time greats. One of the best to ever do it. He's gonna headline a Hall of Fame class once he retires. Yeah. Rhea Ripley, the face of the women's division. She is a very good in-ring performer, good fundamentals, very consistent. Charisma is out of this world, and so is the star quality. Like, you're never arguing with a 93. You're not. You can never do that. And her being as good as she is, she'll be here for a very long time to come. Very long time. Ricky Saints. See LA Knight. It's space. Now he's heel and slightly younger. I actually think you can get a lot out of him. I feel like best case scenario, he could challenge for the WWE Championship. Will he win it? I don't know. I hope I can get him to that point. We'll see. Royce Keys, great, good star quality. Not the best in-ring worker, but honestly, if your main thing is just throwing people around, you kind of don't need to be. He's getting over based on that alone. Like, he definitely is getting that strong start before he eventually goes heel. No, not go heel, but eventually does settle into the mid card where I think he's best at. R-Truth is R-Truth. He is a lifer. With his charisma, with his mental skills, he's probably going to be here until the day he dies. Once he loses those titles, though, he's probably going into permanent jobber residence. Which is unfortunate, but he's 54. He can't have that much longer left. I know we all love him, but genuinely, he doesn't have that much time left. Rusev, good brawler. He is very good on the mic, and he can sell for you. And he can sell real good for you. Very good mid-card monster guy. He's a guy who you can have bully the undercard, have good matches with the mid card, and usually lose to anyone higher up. And that is perfectly fine, really. Sami Zayn, one of my current favorites. Very good in ring worker. Psychology is excellent. So are the fundamentals. He's excellent. He is excellent, and honestly, if the star quality was a little bit better, he probably would have been a world champ by now. Really, he should be a world champion at this stage in his career, but unfortunately has not happened. He is excellent in everything he does. Will he ever get his opportunity to shine? I hope he does, but we'll see. Seth Rollins, one of the best in-ring workers in the game. He can do it all. He can talk real good. He is what he is. He is Seth freaking Rollins. Hooray. Solo Sikoa, not great in the ring. Decent enough in performance. That's probably his saving grace. If not for that, he probably would have gone back to NXT. Probably. I cannot say for sure. But he is probably going to be in a tag team. I think that's where he will best play to his strengths. And yeah, that's probably where he's best at. And not a natural is not ideal, but he's well past his maturity phase anyway, so it is what it is. The Miz is next. And The Miz see LA Knight, see Ricky Stanks, but he's been with the company for years upon years. Is probably one of their most trusted hands at this point. He can do pretty much whatever you want, and no one will complain about it. You can have him be a top contender, you can have him be a mid-card guy, you can have him drop to everyone under the sun. This man's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame when all is said and done. And I will probably be turning him into a manager once he does retire from the ring. Because I feel like it makes sense for him. Tiffany Stratton, good performance. Decent enough in the ring. The star quality is phenomenal. Like, genuinely really solid. This is someone who is still young enough that I could absolutely get a lot of prime years out of her. I'm hoping I can get prime years out of her. I think we're in good hands with her. She could be one of the cornerstones of the women's division. Trick Williams, that's one of the cornerstones in WWE in general. Because holy crap, this guy can talk. Like, the primary and fundamentals aren't the best, but how he talks, with him being able to run his mouth, give him a couple years, he will probably be one of the top names. Xavier Woods, always been a good hand in the ring, very charismatic. Not on time decline, I don't believe. Yeah, no. Nothing is indicating he's on time decline, so he's got a couple more years left before he does fall off. Very solid hand. I think the chance of him eventually winning the WWE title has sadly passed him by, and that's okay, I think. He is a very good upper mid-card hand, in my opinion. Finally, Zelina, not great in the ring, but can talk. Currently injured, will be back in about a week. And that is the roster for Raw and SmackDown. We also have AAA and NXT as developmental brands. But yeah, that is pretty much all that I have for the introduction phase of this diary. I hope you all enjoy this video, and I hope you come along with the ride here. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends. And until next time, it's Jacob Jones, signing out.